All right, all right. Let's get this started. There's things to do here, right? We've got to get into the day and do the stuff. And do I have everything lined up right? Yes, I do. How you doing there, friends? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It's so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is June 12th, 2025, and we're going to write a little bit of code today. How are you doing out there, chat room? We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. You can find us in both the places. We're streaming and we're broadcasting and capturing chat right here. Let me say hello to the folks that are here. I'm going to start off with C Sharp Titan getting us started in Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to you. The hat command wasn't right. We'll talk about this hat in just a second, but that's not a bowling hat. How you doing there, Patty Boy? Good to see you. Jazai, hello. Null Shuffle with the big wave as well. Hey, Ceramo. I am online. That's right. That's right. C Sharp Titan is a bit irritated today, telling a developer friend about the awesome new feature coming in .NET 10, where you can just run .NET App CS to run a single file. His response: well, Java had this way before Microsoft announced it, and they copied it. Like, you do know that there are tons of features that C Sharp and .NET had that not only did Java not have, but JavaScript didn't have, and any other language didn't have, because they were innovated by the .NET and C Sharp language design team. Like, generics were going to be put into Java in 2000, but the American SEC stepped in and during the lawsuit between Sun and Microsoft and said, Microsoft, you're not allowed to work on Java and extend it and customize it. You need to go do your own thing. So they took features like generics that were going to be put into Java and moved it into another language that they called cool, that eventually evolved into C Sharp. Async await started with Microsoft. There were parts that were in F Sharp, it got polished up, and it got rolled out along with the task-based framework in .NET 4, 5, I think. Like, we've had this feature now for almost 10 years, and many other languages have it now. Like, there's all kinds of things that started in .NET and made it over to Java. This is inspiration in the growth of our technical community. This happens. This cross-pollination and growth of our languages and frameworks and tools. It's a good thing. So what if one language had it before another? Big deal. Big deal. So, how you doing there, Sridhar in India? Hello. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sure I'm not. Ved's improving. What am I doing today? We're going to catch up on a couple things that I was working on Copilot That John on that website. I want to show you an update I put into aspirify.net, another one of my websites. And then we're going to dive in and work on these security pages for SharpSite today. We're taking the initial security pages that come with the ASP.NET identity framework. We're going to wrap them up and move them over into their own Razor class library. We tried to have GitHub Copilot do this the other day, and I think it was too complex a task. If you assign Copilot a task to do, and it's more than the tokens and context can be allocated, it'll get confused and not be able to handle and work through it well. So that's okay. Hey, Chris Jones with 72 months.
Chris Jones just resubscribed for 72 months.
Thank you so much.
All.
Good afternoon to you. Great to see you, Chris. Bringing that Prime membership. Thank you so much. 6 years with us. Wow. Thank you. So am I using the new Postgres extension for VS Code? I have it installed. It's not doing anything for me because I don't get down into the nitty-gritty of the database because I'm typically doing things at a higher level. But when I do need to connect in, I have pgadmin running as part of a .NET Aspire configuration. So I don't need it, but we can get in there. Patty Boy's been watching The Madness on Netflix, set in Philly. Heard at least a couple of Johns. There you go, Patty. There you go. I haven't seen that show. Let me get some music playing in the background here. I'll catch up with some more of the folks that are out there. I'm going to go with the Stream Beats Synthwave playlist today. Let's start down here at Zig the Zag. This is music that's DMCA free. It's royalty free. You can see all the playlists go by up there. And this is just groovy music to have in the background while we're talking and having a good time writing code together. Thanks so much to Harris Heller and his team of creators for putting this music together we're listening to today. Because even though I talk about that, sometimes YouTube likes to copyright this. But hey. Aris, how you doing there? Good morning to you. Lore Sayer, good morning. Robson Previato, how you doing there in Brazil? Guillermo Nassim, hello to you. Veds is saying there's a delay between chats. Restream looks like it's having a little bit of a problem this morning. The bit rate is cleared up here a little bit, but it was definitely having some challenges there. Might have been overloaded or something, but it looks like it's coming together and catching up. And there is sometimes a delay between how it relays chat between the two services. So I'm going to deny those. There we go. Does the Fritz household use John? No. And a good bit of that, my older daughter will use it every now and again. My wife doesn't use it at all. And it's that they're isolated from and don't interact with the folks in the folks who have the thick Philadelphia accent in our area. So, you really like the architecture workshop video, says Guillermo. I could do more videos about soft skills, like what you do to be more productive and set goals to be a better programmer. It's not a bad idea. I have 2 workshops coming up next month. Full day workshops. There are sponsors that are going to be promoting it, and you're going to see there's going to be some commercials, some videos that are dropped in as part of that, so that I can get some time to step away and get some food, use the restroom, those types of things. But that's coming up in July. Where we're going to have one that's a full day talking about building and adding artificial intelligence into your applications. The second one is going to be about building and working with .NET Aspire and all the cool things that you can do with that to level up your application systems, make them easier to build and develop with on your local machine. So I could definitely do more about soft skills. Yes, the challenge that I have with some of the YouTube content is and I don't get the quick I don't get the immediate feedback of folks watching my videos. So when I do create and produce videos to go on YouTube, I want them to be very high quality, and so I spend a lot of time preparing and writing and tuning demos for them. And when they don't get a lot of views within the first 3-4 days, it's disappointing, and I've spent all this time building this content. It feels like a waste of time compared to what I can do here with a live stream. So, but I'll take that under consideration. Thank you for the suggestion. Digital Dummy says, I was curious about the Microsoft Azure certs. Are they worth getting? Do you have any insights into that? I do think they are worth getting, if for no other reason than it's going to expose you to a lot of features on the Azure cloud. Now, there's a lot of similar features over on the AWS cloud, in the Google cloud. So getting those certifications and being exposed to them is going to not just show you those features on Azure, but expose you to other architecture concepts that you can consider in your applications. Now, I wouldn't look at and think that you need to use all of them, right? there is such a thing as over-architecting application systems. You need to be careful about that, right? And this is where Scrum, lean development, those practices suggest something called YAGNI, YAGNI. It's an acronym for you aren't gonna need it. And the trick as an architect is for you to design and decide to build a system that you can extend and expand upon, while at the same time not building more than what you need right now. And that's a delicate balance that some folks in the .NET community over pivot on, and some folks in other communities they don't do enough of, which makes their software very closed, and they start talking about the concept of technical debt because they can't extend their system easily. .NET folks will put interfaces and abstract classes in front of everything, even if it's not going to be swapped out, improved, changed, enhanced. So there's a balance there, and it's identifying how to manage that is tricky for folks to work with. It looks like some of the Restream comments aren't coming through from YouTube here. Let me go pop over to Restream, take a look at the chat, and get caught up here a little bit on some of the YouTube comments. My apologies there, friends. I appreciate you mentioning here, chatting in here. So Veds Improving on YouTube says, what would you suggest me to do since me is learning HTML, CSS with the Tailwind framework, JavaScript with SvelteKit, Drizzle, Postgres? So learning all the JavaScript frameworks and the web development tools is a fantastic tool set that works in so many different places. I really think HTML and some CSS basics and some JavaScript is very much table stakes now, right? Everybody needs to have a little bit of that to be a developer in 2025. I think you need to layer in there some sort of a strongly typed language that you can use for either mobile development or native development or cloud side, server side development. You can do server side development with JavaScript. Absolutely. There's limitations to it. There's a very large JavaScript community out there. However, it's kind of rudderless. It doesn't have a fixed direction of here's what we're going to accomplish in the next year. Versus if you do engage and go after another language, another framework, another tool set like Java, the .NET tools, even Go and Rust, what you'll find is that there is a foundation, there is a company, there is an organization that sets direction, and you'll find that many of the tools in the framework drive towards that direction, drive towards that goal for the next year, for the next sprint, for the next release. So you're seeing that right now with the .NET team working on the next version of .NET that will be released in November during .NET Conf. We've started working on .NET Conf for November 11th through the 13th. That's a free online event that everybody can watch. It's going to be broadcast on YouTube and Twitch. That's coming up, and you'll see that there's all kinds of things being done to scale up the AI capabilities across all of the .NET tools. So when you do want to use artificial intelligence in your apps, because that's something a lot of folks want to do now, it's easy to add that in, whether you're building a mobile app, a web app, a native app that's going to run, a console app, background services. You're going to have the tools you need. And you're also going to see the continued focus on security and performance enhancements that are growing in the rest of the .NET frameworks. So you can see more about all that's being planned on there on the .NET website, on the .NET GitHub. They're all planning and working on that in the open. So Veds, I would encourage you, you're trying to learn Linux, and Cyber on the other side, you're in high school for 2 years now. Also learning German. Wow, you are busy. That's great. That is awesome. I'm .NET continues to grow and get faster and better, and there are folks out there that are rediscovering C# as a language and really liking what they can do with it. Spend some time with us here today, and you might like what you see with how I'm going to be using C# with .NET Aspire and how that grows. You might find that .NET Aspire particularly is a great tool that works with all kinds of different technologies. So I would suggest you learn, you bring into your portfolio another strongly typed language that is intended for building that different set of tools that you can use. Hey, Raj. Raj says they discovered me 10 minutes ago. Oh, hey, welcome. Good to see you. Raj is a Linux enthusiast and recently got an internship where I need C#. YouTube really knows what to recommend. Fantastic. C# is a great language that I've been using for 20 plus years now. So much you can do with it. It's growing, advancing. They're investing in new features every year. And of course, the frameworks around it get better and more performant and more secure, which turns into less work for you to do as it grows every year. Hey, Smirking Squiggly, how you doing there? C# Titan asks, do I have any recommendations on best practices when creating .NET APIs? Write some versions around those things. Generate good documentation to go with them. The Open API documentation that you can generate automatically from your .NET code, fantastic. But even more so now, dial in GitHub Copilot. It's free for everybody to use. Dial in GitHub Copilot and tell Copilot to generate documentation as a README next to your APIs that folks will be able to download, read, and learn more about how to use your APIs. GitHub Copilot's going to give you a good start on that documentation. Make sure you read it, tune it, tweak it, so that it meets your needs and conveys your message that you want to make sure that your API consumers are going to want. And keep that up to date as you version your APIs. Adding the version number into your API is not something that you're going to need in your first release, but when you change that API for the second release, you're going to want to have a v2 burned somewhere into that URL. Right, and I'm assuming you're referring to web APIs. You're going to want a v2 burned into that URL. If not, version numbers and request headers. No, not in request headers. Put them in the URL. Put them in the URL so that it's clear that this client isn't updated to that client. The folks at Twitch have done this by creating completely different URLs. And they don't put a version number into the URL. They put a code name. So you see Hydra, I forget what the one was before Helix, but you see these out there. A Pirate Wolf, thank you so much for the follow. Spidey Soul, hey, welcome in. Good to see you here on Twitch. You can always ask me something. This is the AMA segment of the stream where I just answer questions from all the friends that are here hanging out in chat and want to talk. Absolutely. Let me hit that hat command again and see if it'll get a better picture of the hat this time. Do a better job of analyzing it. So, but C# Titan, if you're building just binary APIs for your code, wrap interfaces in front of those things. And when you break that interface, put a version number on that interface. Hey, this is v2. This is v3, right? The XUnit folks, they wanted to not only break the interface, but they break and have the interface behave differently, but they wanted to maintain the same syntax. So they rolled out an XUnit 3 library. You can continue working with XUnit, their unit testing framework, but the new ways that the features work, instead of changing the names of the APIs, they just broke and said, here's a completely different library to go to. You could run into the same scenario that the Python folks ran into, where they wanted to change the behavior of things. So we had the Python 2, Python 3, the schism that happened. You can do that. You're going to face a challenge then of getting folks to migrate from 2 to 3. We saw that struggle for years and years. Hey, Loco Jewel. Hello. I'm doing well. Thanks so much. Great to see you. I'm waiting to see. Spidey Soul was saying, here, hey, can I ask you something? Where'd it go? It just rolled off the top. I'm waiting to make sure I answer their question here. DGB, hey, Blazor is still underrated. Okay. It's great to make a web app with it, just needs more understanding since render modes also bring back a hosted WebAssembly template. You're landing on two of the main issues that folks are faced with and they're challenged with when they work with Blazor. You're absolutely right. The render modes capabilities, and this is unique to Blazor, nobody else has this, is difficult for folks to handle and work with because it's a unique feature. So folks look at it and I don't get it. Angular folks have been trying to do this for years with their idea of Angular Universal, where you can write one block of code and it runs either on the server or in the browser. But with Blazor, you can dictate exactly where it's going to run, and you can even turn on auto mode that says run it on the server until it downloads the code to run in the browser. So there are technically 4 modes that you can run Blazor in, and yeah, that gets confusing. And it can turn into some error management scenarios for you, because how do you work with your APIs when you don't know where your code is running? Is it running in the browser? Is it running on the server? So I totally hear you on that. And our friend Spidey Soul here is reminding me of Uncle Ben's statement, with great power comes great responsibility. And when you want to control where render mode happens, you got to spend more time thinking about that and planning that. So totally agree. Bring back a hosted WebAssembly template. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, that absolutely is it should be a consideration, and raise that to the Blazor team. Open an issue over in the .NET repository. There might already be one, but yeah, definitely something to talk about. So the bot tells you this is my Arctic Airborne hat, and it's got a really small badge here. And it's a rubber badge that they've stuck to the front of the hat here. Predominantly white with a shield-shaped logo, prominently displayed on the front. The logo features the text Arctic Airborne above the number 11, includes a wing design giving it a military or aviation-shaped look. Yes, so this is actually the badge, the insignia for the American troops that are stationed in northern Alaska. They're the Arctic Airborne units out there. Much respect to them and the work that they do in harsh conditions. They're right now it's daytime in Alaska. Like there is no nighttime. My daughter was visiting Alaska for the last month, and they would go out to dinner, go out to a bar afterwards, grab a couple drinks, some cocktails, and they're wandering home, and it's midnight, and it's bright as day because of the way the physics and the way the Earth spins and sun and whatnot. So that's definitely an interesting experience. I haven't done it myself, but I can only imagine. Spidey Soul has the question here. How do pirates use API to grab raw files without any issue? I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure I fully understand your question. From OTS. What do you mean OTS? Help me out there. APIs that are available that websites use to load data for websites or that applications use to download content and present that on your phone or whatever, they can over-the-top media services. Is that what they're talking about? Like Netflix and Amazon Prime. So you can watch the network traffic going back and forth. It's using secure sockets to try and communicate back and forth through them. So what you're seeing folks able to do, and here we just hit ads, and I know you don't have the ability to see, so I will pause on that. Loco Joel asks, am I into aviation? No, not really. Crispy says, I'm from the EU and companies trend to only use C# and .NET. Fantastic. I like hearing that, Crispy. Alternatively, they have 30 Days of Night, which is a fun film. That happens in the winter, and that's kind of creepy. During the middle of the day and creepy. I missed your question. I did. How would you learn C# if you had to begin today? Is there something you should learn beforehand? Asks Crispy. There's lots of great tutorial videos over on learn.microsoft.com. Folks like Tim Corey have a great set of introductory videos on YouTube. I have some great introductory videos on YouTube. I would learn the basics of object-oriented programming, a little bit of what objects are, what abstract objects are, interfaces, and then dive in a little bit. And learning the basics of object-oriented programming isn't going to take you long. Take you a couple hours to cover the scope of that, and that'll apply to many different modern programming languages that we have. But C#, Java, JavaScript use those object-oriented concepts. So I would dive into that first, and then I would get into some of the basics of writing just a console application, interacting with folks typing things in on the terminal, and then move on to building websites, building desktop applications, and the like. No, I held off a little bit there. I'm not really into aviation, no. I do enjoy air travel, but I'm not somebody who's tracking and following planes and that kind of thing. So how do pirates use the API to grab the raw files? They look at the API, the network traffic that's going between that Netflix app, that Hulu app, what have you. They watch that. They'll even route it through a proxy in between, and they'll look at the traffic and see where the API is that they're working with and reverse engineer that. So there's stuff to be said about that whole reverse engineering process that I'm not going to get into because I don't want to get in trouble. So, what's my name? Like the real short one that you can use to refer to me? Fritz. You can call me Fritz. My friends call me Fritz. So you can find that on my blog as well. If you're watching on Twitch, there's an About panel just below that you can check out that has more background information about me. I think there's a background on the front of my YouTube channel as well. So, but yeah, you can find more information about me there. What was that learning website I recommended? Learn.microsoft.com. So we've written tons of tutorials and training videos, exercises that you can work through, all free on the web from Microsoft and the .NET team. So let's see here. How do I learn? Asks Veds Improven. I learn by doing. I learn by reading a little bit of documentation and then implementing that inside of an application. And you see a lot of that on this stream. The dirty secret is that my colleagues at work, they think I'm just here talking like a normal developer, streamer, influencer, insulting people and making fun of programming languages and technology decisions. I spend this time learning with you about some of the new technologies and things that are out there and trying it out, bringing it into various coding projects that we'll work on live on stream here. So you actually get to watch me learn some of these technologies. So that's typically how I learn. So, and you've longtime viewers have seen me learn about how to use Aspire, how to use some Blazor features, and I turn those around into presentations, polished demos, workshops, like the ones that we're going to have in July. VRTXD, how you doing there? Welcome on Twitch. Am I familiar with the concept of permacomputing, applying permaculture and deep ecology principles to ICT? What are my thoughts on that? I'm not familiar with that. Do you have a link where I can learn more about that? Happy to take a look and read a little bit more about that. That sounds interesting. And I'd dig in and learn more about that, and then I can give you an opinion about it. Since there are fast learners, slow learners, visual learners, etc., says Veds. Yes. How do I learn best and fast? By doing. Gosh, when we see my terminal over here, you'll see I have dozens of projects that are sitting on disk. If you look at my GitHub, you'll see I've got hundreds of repositories. And these are little things that I've tinkered with and try a new feature, try a new technique, a new technology. And does it work for me? Do I appreciate it? Is it something that I want to use? Well, it's over there and I can reference it at some point in the future. So it's a good way for me to bounce back and forth and try something out and still save that context so I can refer to it another time. Hey, Thindall, good to see you. Hello. It's been a bit and a half since you were here. Oh, yeah, I'm doing well. Yeah. Does Fritz mean something? No. It's my name. Quite literally my name. Like, I don't hide my full legal name. I can't. That's part of the job. So, that's... yeah. Fritz is my name. So... you thought I was playing Fortnite and screaming a cracking voice here? No, Fritz is a German name. It happens to be my last name. You having problems with the Azure AI Language Conversations SDK, says Smirking Squiggly. How you doing there, Reg9K? It says your request is wrong, but when I call the Cognitive Services API directly, it does work. Take a look. When you found the SDK, there's going to be a project link or a source link from there, and it'll take you to the GitHub project for that. You'll be able to log an issue there. So, Digital Dummy asks, did I get to use the RV yet? Yes. Oh, yes. So for those of you that are new here that don't know, I bought a camper, a tow-behind camper back in December, which is kind of weird. Buying a recreational vehicle that you're going to use in December when things are cold, and I'm in the Philadelphia area. Things are colder, and you don't really want to do that. You're buying it, and you're not going to be able to use it. Yes, but I saved a boatload of money on my car insurance because those companies that are selling those vehicles want to get them off their lot and not have to pay for it. So I bought the dip. They want to get them moving, so I caught a great deal, bought it, put it in storage for a couple months, broke it out in March, and the last week of May, actually, that's why I was off. At the end of May, I towed it down to the beach, having the camper on the beach, so I've got a full kitchen there, I've got my grill, I've got a dinette area with bench seats and a couch with recliners, and I've got a big screen TV in there, full queen size bed. Go ahead, take a look at the hat. It was terrific. And right there on the beach, got to watch the sunset, looking out the windows. Set up a campfire. Fantastic experience, right? And I've got a full refrigerator there, so I got to stock it with my favorite adult beverages. Had a great time. I'm going to be doing a little bit of that in July. No, I'm going to be doing a little bit of that in a couple of weeks here. I'm going to visit the Angry Orchard and Cidery. That's going to be a ton of fun. Looking forward to that. And you know I like hats. I'm not going to be able to go to Angry Orchard and not get a hat. So that's coming up. I'm really looking forward to that. So, permacomputing principles. Yeah, let me take a quick peek at what you're referring to. There are steps that you or the group you're involved in can take to reduce the environmental impact of your digital activities. So, care for all hardware, especially the chips. Okay, so what you are seeing that .NET folks benefit from an experience that might play into this a little bit. I have to read more, but just in the 30 seconds of taking a peek over what the topic is covering, the .NET tools and features are always optimizing to get faster and better and more performant. And particularly, there are two different memory models in .NET. There's value types and reference types. Reference types have a long lifetime, and they sit in memory in what's called the heap. And they get reclaimed every so often, but they use more memory. Value types go on the stack. They get released as soon as stuff goes out of that memory gets freed up as soon as they go out of scope. So what folks in C# and .NET are benefiting from is the .NET team is moving more capabilities from the heap to the stack. What does this mean? It means that your application uses significantly less memory. Because it's using less memory, it can use less processor as well. Consequently, you can stack then more applications in the same compute structure. So looking at permacomputing here and some of the concepts of thinking about the environmental and socioeconomic impact, those .NET technologies are becoming smaller, more accessible, easier to deploy on smaller, less electrical consuming devices. And because you can pack more of them into a smaller space, we need less servers to run more applications. So .NET and C# is playing very well into that space. You're going to see it continue to grow and improve in that. I would read into this a little bit more. Simplicity, complexity, and scale. Some of these things I think Copilot can help you with in doing the analysis and reducing the size of your application. There's some good stuff there that you can do. I'm going to keep that bookmarked, and I'm going to come back to that. Thank you for sharing VTRXD. Where's that Vertex? Help me out with how you'd like me to pronounce your screen name. But I'll read further into that offline and get back to you more on that. That's interesting for me. Thank you. I really appreciate you sharing. Let me see here. Did I hook my Xbox up to the TV in the RV? Asks C# Titan. No, I didn't. I could, but I didn't. I don't play too many games on the Xbox. Quite frankly, I play more games on my Meta Quest VR headset than I do on the Xbox. There's an amazing, I'm going to sound stupid and old for a second. There's an amazing miniature golf game on the VR headset that is such a great demonstration of virtual reality capabilities. There's a couple of Star Wars games on the headset that bring you into the story and interacting with the characters, and it makes you feel like you're on these faraway planets that only exist in that science fiction universe. And it is amazing, and that further enhances that VR interaction. I really enjoy those. So tow it there to your place, Thindall, and I can stay in the backyard Yeah, let me just drive across the Atlantic to you there. Hey, McNets, good to see you. Did I get those work focused AR headset glasses? So you're referring to the visor. That device is. It sounds like it's on more and more of a delay. They're saying that the initial batch is going to be delivered in Q2 2025. I talked about this the other day. The Q2, as we know, ends at the end of this month, at the end of June. They sent a couple of test units out to some of the folks in the visor community, and these guys have been recording videos on YouTube that are really cool, showing off how the visor looks, how it feels. It doesn't it doesn't look like you're wearing the space helmet that you do when you're wearing another VR headset, like the Meta Quest. But it does look a little bit more like you're wearing a pair of mirrored sunglasses, and folks can't see your eyes. Of course they can't see your eyes because there's cameras in there and screens and all that stuff. So they say it's coming. Clock's ticking if they're going to get this thing shipped before the end of the month. I would love to have my visor before July. I would love to have it before July. Quite frankly, I want to be able to take it to some of the conferences that I'm going to coming up in August and October and November. October and November are going to be crazy content times for me. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to stream from them. I might have to break out and upgrade my my travel rig. The story goes, in October, there are 4 conferences that month. I'm going to be at 3 of them. There's the Azure Community Summit that's been planned and announced, and that's in Lisbon. There's another event that's in Orlando. I forget what they're calling that one. Those 2 are back to back. GitHub Universe is the end of that month. I'm told that I'm going to be at GitHub Universe. I haven't seen final details on that yet. In November, we've got .NET Conf the second week. I'm going to be on site at the studio presenting, preparing, hosting that. For those of you that have seen for a long time, you know that I am hands-on delivering that. We're going to be upgrading, doing features for TagsApp on this stream that we're going to use for .NET Conf. More on that as that happens. And the week after .NET Conf is Microsoft Ignite. They're telling me that the response to our .NET Aspire workshop that we delivered at Microsoft Build was so good, they want me to do it again at Ignite. I don't have that locked in yet, but that's the initial request here. So we'll see. There's a good chance that I'm going to be delivering 5 or 6 conferences, not delivering, presenting or a part of 5 or 6 conferences in 2 months. I'm going to literally hit all of my frequent flyer miles goals before we get into December. It's going to be crazy. So all of that is coming up, and we'll see how much I can stream in and around those events. Vertex says, I'm wondering, for instance, about the energy use of C# and .NET, how they compare. That's a great question, and quite frankly, I don't know how you would measure that. I don't know how you would measure that. That's a great question. I don't know. Let me dig into that a little bit. C# Titan suggests I could do a live stream from my camper. Yes, I could. I didn't suggest it. Mrs. C# Fritz suggested it. We've got some setup to do to make that work. I've got some ideas of how to make the network work for that, but it's on the agenda that we're going to do some of that. Wouldn't hot reload be easier to build if everything was on the heap, though? No. Because you want to throw stuff out and reload it, and that's a problem that they're having right now with hot reload, is that they're having a problem evicting things and loading the new content, and it gets confused. So, the problem is that you need some space to play some of those VR games, says Digital Dummy. You are correct. Yes. My family, my kids particularly, think it's think I look like a dork when I'm in the middle of the living room with the VR headset on, and I'm wielding the imaginary lightsaber and fighting. Like, Dad, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm fighting Darth Vader. All right, shut up. Any new updates on .NET Aspire? Says Pulses Digital. We're talking about features that are going to be in the next release of .NET Aspire. Our friend David Fowler is iterating, working through. He really wants to make the deployment story from .NET Aspire easier and better. Because quite frankly, deployment stories for most of our technologies are awful. And I say our, meaning the entire technical community. Building, deploying, and it's just awful. It's a trial and error disaster. So he's very much got a target of significantly improving it. We're in the midst of talking through what are the features we're going to plan and work on for the next release. I'm not sure how much of that I can talk about yet. When I can, Pulses Digital, I will of course share on this stream. We've still got a plan. We normally have a .NET Aspire community stand-up coming up here in the next, probably about 2 weeks out now. So keep an ear open. And we should be able to talk about some of that stuff when we host our next stand-up. Hey, Frank. Good to see you. Ready to get your daily C# dose? Cool. The edit editor seems nice for Windows Terminal. I've seen that. That's great. It's not my cup of tea. Do I have any interest in the ROG Xbox device? Not really. I was asked if I had any interest in the Nintendo Switch 2. Honestly, I really enjoy Overwatch. I really enjoy. Gosh, our friend Fierce Kittens is getting on my case here that I got to play Dune. I was watching Ellieface play Dune last night. I would love to get into that game and play that a little bit. I still have Cyberpunk that I've been slowly playing through here on my PC. I'm a PC gamer, and I really enjoy that. So and that's where I lean in right now. Overwatch and those other first-person point-of-view games, I really like playing with a mouse. So I'm holding back a little bit on some of the game consoles. And don't get me wrong, I love my Nintendo Switch. My gosh, Tetris 99 was fantastic on it. I was never very good at it. I was good at it, but never very good. Like, I would get in the top 10 of the various races, but man, I could never win a board, win a race. So, have they provided pricing? No, I haven't seen pricing yet, Patty Boy. No. Thindall just backed an AI NAS on Kickstarter. It might be the best idea ever, but it might also be a terrible idea. Share the link. What's the Kickstarter there? Actual good use for AI. Index all your personal data and query for it. That's one of the things that Microsoft is trying to put into Windows, and you've seen them suggest it a couple times, and folks keep shooting this down. You sent out CFP responses to a whole bunch of conferences, got one decline and a bunch of no answers. I sent out a handful of CFP applications in the last month or two, including applications to be on the Twitch front page, and I was declined on all of them. So it happens. It's hard to be more hands-on for me than .NET Conf. You aren't kidding. Kilowatt. Is that a thing? Is that a thing? Kilowatt electricity usage monitor. So, okay, so what, you plug your PC into it and you run different apps and see how much voltage it uses? Somebody's got to have a report on those. Right? Which programming languages use the least electricity? The new stack? No, that's from 2018. .NET's not on it. Hey there, DJ Deepex.
Deep just resubscribed for 12 months. Yeehaw, D1 year.
Thank you so much. 1 year with us. Much appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much for that support. So I found this article. Which programming languages use the least electricity? Normalized global results for energy, time, and memory. C is at the top on energy, but you spend how much more energy writing it. And C# is down here at 314. Wow, F# is way down there at 4.25. But that's energy is there. Oh, there's F# at 413. Time. C, of course, is going to be the fastest, right? Because it's low-level programming. C# in at 314 megabytes. Yeah, this is 7 years ago, so these aren't. There's been significant updates that have happened here that this doesn't account for. Computer language benchmark scheme. Benchmark programs, yeah. Show me the results. Official website, yes please. Not just which is fastest, but Okay, yeah. Links to all the languages for measurements and comparisons. So I like C#. When was this measured? .NET SDK 9. Okay. Right, and that's important because older versions of C# used memory less efficiently, like I was talking about. Right, so memory is significantly lower. I'm not sure what the difference in these two are. That's the program. I don't want to spend time digging through these. Like, memory allocation, if done correctly, should be near 0. No. 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 Lord, no. Where's the tree node class? No. This is a terrible implementation for C# testing. Yeah. They're hitting all kinds of nullables. Yeah. My feedback. If you're testing for speed in memory using .NET, and you want to optimize for that. String concat, no. You fortunately that's only being run once, so it's not as big a deal. This one's being used in the for loop. And it's only being run a handful of times. All right. But anytime that you're working with strings directly is not optimal use of memory because it goes on the heap instead of the stack. If you want to optimize for it, use a span of t and bring the values out so you're working with the memory directly. We're at ads right now. But down here in the tree node, this shouldn't be a class. This should be a struct. If you're creating and searching through and working through these and you want to work through them as fast as possible, this should be a struct. Yeah. You'll get through and run through that faster, and even then, yeah, make that a struct and you'll use the processor and memory a lot better because you're allocating on the heap here. Put it on the stack and it'll clean that up and manage it much faster. Let me get back over to our chat. Any news on the visor? Just talked about that. Mads had a great session at Build about the release process for Visual Studio. It's pretty interesting. Visual Studio is, I think it's the largest application that Microsoft releases. Like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, those are all big applications. But I think Visual Studio is the largest, most sophisticated. And yes, the architecture and release cycle is pretty regimented. So, Vertex, gotcha. Funny how the talk got to VR from permacomputing. Coincidentally, you recently worked at a virtual museum and calculated a rough estimate for Meta XR headsets. 160 kilograms of carbon. Yeah. I believe it. Cyberpunk is a great game after the expansion. I've been told that too. So. Hey there, Hari. Is it Hari or Harish? Hello? Thindal. I'm on ZLabs behind about a public API too. The programming language that uses the least electricity is the one that I'm not allowed to write in. Ouch. Ouch. How you doing, Alu? You probably use more energy in the lights and heating because programming in C takes you longer. That's probably a fair comment there, Surly. Laura Sayre says, difficult to isolate those power readings to individual processes. Totally agree. Python is yes. The interpretation of Python code, yeah, is going to be a problem there. Miller Zapata, thank you for the follow. Welcome. There's also a ton more to efficiency than just the language. Chip architecture can impact that too. Well, with chip architecture being constant, running the same application that's built with different programming languages across that constant chip architecture and memory architecture, what do we see? Then change up the architecture. Go from Intel x64 architecture to ARM. How does that perform? So on and so forth. So you would never trust that they wrote good code in every language. Blazor, Mr. Magoo, you are not wrong. And quite frankly, the .NET team got blasted for this. Because, as you just saw me reach in and say, wait a sec, they're doing a performance test on .NET code, and they didn't write highly performant .NET code. And when you look at some of the other languages, they wrote highly performant C. Like, when you look at the code that they're using, they wrote highly performant C code. Optimized to the nines with parallel processing. They're not doing parallel processing or memory optimization with that C# code. Like, Let's talk about this for a second. Like, they do a tasks.run in the middle of it, but that isn't necessarily parallel processing. So, and the memory optimizations that you could do there just... So, the .NET team reached out to a group that was doing performance testing and said, hey, we have some performance suggestions for you, and sent over some optimized code that uses the language the way that, and the frameworks and tools in the optimal way. And the .NET community complained that the code that was submitted wasn't typical .NET code. What you consider typical code is different from what other people consider typical code. There are different ways that folks write code to optimize for different things. And when you're trying to do a race, a performance test, like, the typical code that's written for a performance test isn't the typical code that you write. So, yeah, that's right. It wasn't. Maybe you could learn something from it, too. So, you write all your C# on a clay tablet, uses 0 energy. Oh. Hey.
Silence! I kill you!
That's right. How about AOT? Does it contribute to better speed? There was an AOT entry there. It should. Looks like it does, according to this. On the Benchmarks game website. It does. There's more optimizations coming to AOT. So, yeah, string B equals A plus hello. You now have 3 strings in memory. That's right. String B equals string interpolation with A hello. Now you have 2. Yes. With span magic, you don't have any strings. You have characters in memory that you stitch together to turn back into a string. Matt said they can't even use a line of code count if they want it. Yep, there are so many library dependencies. The Visual Studio application is massive. Massive. You did send the Kickstarter link? I didn't see it. Oh, you sent it to me over here in the Discord. What's this? Oh, wow. Okay. Real Coding Re, hello? In Twitch chat, I'm going to look at your chat and walk back it. There it is. So this is a Kickstarter for an... Oh, yes. Okay. Holy crow. They had a $9,000 goal and they've raised $1.3 million. Holy smokes. Okay. So what's the goal here? ZLab AI NAS, the first AI-powered NAS rigorously reviewed by experts. Combining best-in-class storage specifications with local AI. Okay. No. Bull. I call shenanigans. Where's the NVIDIA? If you're doing AI without CUDA cores, you're not doing AI. Great, you're running apps that are going to run dog slow on an Intel Core 5. No. Where do you see NPU? No. The Intel processor, I don't know enough about, but without a video card in it, you don't have the parallel processing to be able to do some of these things as quickly as you're going to want. Transcription, document analysis, categories, these are going to take a long time if you're not able to run dozens of processes in parallel using the number of cores that you have on a video card. Like, you're telling me you're 14 cores, 18 threads, 34, is that tera operations per second? When things are indexed and sitting in a vector database, you don't need the AI to run across it. I don't think this is going to do what you think it can do. That number of threads is not going to do what you think it can do. I'm skeptical at best. Your phone can do this. Like, that's something that your phone can do. Like, impress me. That's something that my Raspberry Pi can do. Like, your offline AI chatbot. No, and I appreciate it's not about generating stuff. I'm looking at this and thinking it's creating a giant vector database out there that you're searching, which I wouldn't describe as AI. Instead of having an index of all your files in some sort of databases, it's some sort of a database that it's searching across, it's putting it in a vector database and searching using that. And it's using something like the Whisper model to do the transcription. It might be. It might be. I look at Kickstarters highly skeptical of what they're suggesting. And something that's going to do AI workloads for less than a Synology device. Shut up. Shut up. Just go away. Like, and quite frankly, it looks exactly like a Synology device. Yeah, we'll see. Totally. So, for real coding Ryan, hey, how you doing? They've got units out at reviewers, so you felt somewhat. Hey, that's cool. Look, if you need an at-home storage server, I wouldn't knock you for trying this. Sure. Got a cool little display down there. All right, nice expandability. 6 bays, that's cool. Able to use RAID across it with a UPS, fantastic. This is, other than this one, these three I think are kind of standard features of an at-home network attached storage at this point. Like, yeah, you better have all three of those. There's a creator studio, creating a storyboard, completing the entire workflow. AI clip for seamless editing. Really? Do you know how long that takes to run when you actually do have a video card? I don't believe it. Generating subtitles is easy to do. That's... I was doing that with Twitch clips on a Raspberry Pi. Like, so what? I'm skeptical. I have no doubt that it'll be a good storage device, because with that processor and that amount of RAM, sure. Absolutely. I like the little external display. It better have these apps in the App Store. I'm not quite sure what this one is or that one, but Plex and Docker, yeah, better. This is the one that I think you're not going to get out of it what you think, without it bouncing out to the cloud to do other things. So, hang on. Okay, we're good. So, 12th gen doesn't matter. Hey, how you doing there, Kim? Hello. Timu Synology. Maybe. Yeah, you're suspicious that you thought 9,000 American would be enough. I agree. Hey, Mythin, hello. So. All right. Okay. Let me see. Close these down. Let me go over. There's a couple things that I did over the last day or two here. I didn't work on SharpSide at all. I should have, but I didn't. And I'm going to be kicking myself on that. Yeah. We can talk about this one. So I did an update to Aspirify Net. We can head over and we'll talk about this. The source code for this one isn't available, but I think this was a cool update that I did. What's the other pull request waiting out there? Yeah, we're not doing that one just yet. But I added... go back. It's probably easier to see from the pull requests. Closed. There we go. I added a RSS feed scanner to Aspirify. Particularly, this is scanning a Google Alerts RSS feed, right? You can go to Google Alerts and you can create an alert where when Google indexes something that mentions a term in your alert, it will send you an email or it'll put an entry on an RSS feed for you. So that's what I did. I put together a function that does exactly that. Scans that Google feed, and there it is, and turns it into a submission. Check to see if the article is already submitted, if it already exists, or if it was previously rejected, and then add it to my submission queue on Aspirify Net. So if we head out there, take a look at that website, and I'm already logged in. Click into my admin area. There are 7 articles waiting for me to review and decide, should we add these to the website? So I'll go into my submission queue, learn Microsoft, transforming microservices with .NET Aspire. There's bold entries in that bold text that Google puts into the titles that I need to have it strip out. I've already got this one loaded. .NET Aspire topic worth being described on Wikipedia, on Reddit. I would ignore that. I don't like putting Reddit articles. Instagram, no. .NET Aspire revolutionizing cloud native development. Senior .NET developer, no. So I'm going to reject this one. The Learn articles. I already have this one, but the bold there is not getting picked up. I don't bring in Reddit. I don't bring in Instagram. So, sure, go ahead. .NET Aspire, game changer for cloud native development. Hey, Emmanuel Bartolozzi, we know him. What is .NET Aspire? Blah, 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 blah. This is another one of those intro articles. Sure. I don't mind accepting that, so I'll approve. And now it all gets loaded in. Screenshot. Is that the date that it was published? And let me grab his name. So the website tries to grab the names and things out of the metadata at the top of the article. If you have open graph data loaded, it'll try and grab that stuff. So, yeah, it's a blog post. Explore new, how... yeah, that's it. And was it the 12th? Is that when he posted it? The 11th. So... And now it's going to be easier for me to accept and load new articles onto aspirify.net. So there it is, added into the mix. Why does that say June 12th? Like, hang on. 18 hours ago. Should be the 11th. And I don't have an edit button right here. So, yeah, why does that say the 12th? So, saved. Yeah, there it is. Back down there a little bit. Okay, cool. And that's how I'm going to be updating and keeping this website up to speed. So that's aspirify.net, and it's all the news about .NET Aspire that you might want to check out. So, the CPU is a mobile CPU, and Lunar Lake got more boost, better for Meteor Lake. You're a data hoarder. Will I be talking about the Uno platform in my lessons? I don't have it on the schedule, MK. You have stuff you didn't even know you had, right? And I got the new iPhone 16. It's about to be the old iPhone 16. That. Oh, cool. That's good. And it's reporting to me where I have duplicate photos in my Apple Photos. Man, I need to do that across my OneDrive. Whew. So that's a thing that I really need to do is dedupe photos in OneDrive. Things that I've sent to my wife and that she sent back to me, and keeping track of that. Hey, President Not Sure.
President Not Zuon just resubscribed for 32 months. Let's go.
Thank you so much. 32 months with us. Yeah, let's go. Almost at 3 years. Thank you so much, my friend. Much appreciate the support there. Oh, hang on. I received an email that I've been looking forward to here. Let me see if it has what I think it. And then I want to show you. I got some new Gunner glasses. I want to show you those. I put an update into Copilot that John. Show you that, and then we'll dive back into SharpSight here. So let me just take a look here for a second. Whatever. All right, whatever. That's cool. I'm all right with that. All right. moving on. You're still on an iPhone 8? Oh, man. Am I going to promote Copilot That John and events I speak at? I'm slowly starting to promote Copilot That John. Yes. The events that I speak at, I will mention and promote those as they come up. Absolutely. So, multiple copies of it. Exactly, right? 23 terabytes of use space. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. Somebody was trying to set up, trying to spec out a laptop for me, and they're like, here, we're going to put 8 terabytes of drive space on it. I'm like, what the heck are you doing with 8 terabytes? No, I don't want 8 terabytes. Give me 500 gig, a terabyte tops. Having less space means that I need to move stuff off of that machine to someplace else that can be managed and backed up. I don't want to have a lot of source code on my laptop. Backed up on GitHub. Hey! Oh my goodness. Ivers Myers, hello! Welcome in, Raiders. Good to see you. Thank you so much for the raid. How you doing there, friend? Thank you, thank you. I'm going to snooze the upcoming ad break here. My name is Jeff Fritz. Let me head back over here. My name is Jeff Fritz, and we're catching up, doing a little bit of AMA here about various tech things that are going on. I'm going to show an update to one of the websites that I've been building called Copilot That John. Yeah, that's a thing. And then we're going to get back into working on a CMS that we've been building on stream. What were you doing over there on your stream on that just before you raided us? Let me drop a shout out there for you. Thank you so much. You use Dupe Finder to deduplicate them. Do you have a link? I'd be interested in checking that out. Yeah, I don't want 8 terabytes on my computer. No. So, SharpSite, yes, we're going to get into that in a little bit. Yep. So, yeah. All right. So I was working on the other website. Copilot That John is this other website that I've been building. And I'm really happy with how this has been progressing and growing. And let me head over here, and I'll show you a little bit of some of the updates that I did on this. On the first visit to the website, the CSS and JavaScript weren't immediately loading. And I set up some additional GitHub actions and updated and added some more tips in here. So what's interesting to me is how can we make the website load faster on a first visit, right? So I'll share this link to the website there in chat. And sometimes the first time that you click through to visit it, it doesn't quite... Sometimes it doesn't bring down all the styles. Exactly. So there is a... Where did it go? I think it's in... Get career-focused AI recommendations from Copilot. This is a fantastic tip that my friend Ava at work shared. This is really interesting. And for those of you that might be skeptical about using AI in your work or trying to think about or plan things... This, I thought, was really cool. Check this out. The idea is ask Copilot to make recommendations to you based on what you do. But I think there's a format to the prompt here that we can learn from and grow with. I'd love your help in consultation, a keyword, with you to help me figure out where I can best leverage AI in my work. As an AI expert, would you please ask me one-line questions one at a time until you have enough context about my work, my OKRs or KPIs, that would help you make 2 obvious recommendations and 2 non-obvious recommendations. I think I talked about this the other day. really, really cool here. And you could pivot this from how can I use AI to some other topic. But take into account some of the reasons why this works. The interactive approach, I think, is tremendous. Let it ask you the questions and answer it. You could turn this into, hey, give me an interview based on this job that I'm applying for, and practice questions and let it evaluate your answers. You could do stuff like that. So be specific in your answers. After it gives recommendations, ask some follow-up questions. Really, how can I do that? Give me some suggestions. What are some of the things? Give me some success metrics that I could consider. An example conversation, and then some pro tips. Take notes. Don't just take notes. Copy the content out, put it into a document, save it for later. That's what I did. But you can do this right on copilotmicrosoft.com. These tips, like it has here on this website, copy this out, put it on copilotmicrosoft.com, and work through it there. Really, really cool stuff that's going to help you. And even stuff for like team leaders. Help me identify opportunities for my team. Ask me questions about my team structure, current projects, pain points to suggest immediate and innovative ways we can leverage AI to improve effectiveness. Fantastic. Pretty cool examples here about how you're going to be able to grow your career with a little bit of AI influence, and it's using the AI skill as that jumping off point. This is labeled as a Microsoft 365 Copilot, but I really think this could just be a generic AI interaction prompt. You know what I'm saying? Part of me wants to change the category that it's in and create a new category that's just AI chat. Like, learn how to use AI chat. Because you could fire this same question not just into like Teams Copilot or a Microsoft Copilot, but also ChatGPT, Olama, Gemini. Take your pick, and you'll get a similar interaction and response coming back and forth there that I think is valuable for everybody. Yeah, I think this is a good prompt. It is like a knowledge base because, let's face it, the language model has all of this text indexed that says, here's things that I do that are successful from various blogs and texts that folks have written, success manuals, career growth manuals. And when you tell it, here's the things that I know, it can make recommendations based on that text that it's read in other places. Hey, Amarnath on YouTube, you're here by YouTube recommendations. I can build static sites with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now I want to upgrade my skills. What is point? What is the point? Help me out there with your question there. Have to go. Take care, Ivars. Great to see you. So this site is growing. I need to update it so that you'll see. I don't. This doesn't support images in the articles yet. I need to update this so it supports images. I have a pull request that Copilot recommended that I need to analyze and test out and go through. So I think we're almost there. So, but this site continues to grow. I'm writing new articles for it every day and adding them in here so that as we learn and use more AI tools, it becomes easier for us to learn how to use them better with tips. I'm going to add tutorials here at some point and more on this website. So that's copilot.john.com. You see the link there in chat. All right. And ads are just about to start on Twitch. I'm waiting. I don't see the indicator yet. You fool! Anyways, moving on. Yeah, there's my Steam. Shut off Steam. We don't need to see Steam right now. What happened here? Right. Okay. Next up. So I brought that in. Yeah, I brought that in. There's Aspirify. Shut that down. Something that I found in building and managing these little websites that are deployed with .NET Aspire, the big cost is the container registry. The container registry on Azure, I forgot to put pricing, is right 16.7 cents a day for the basic tier, which is only 10 gigabytes, but that turns out to be like $5 a month. Really? It frustrates me that it doesn't show me, yeah, right there, that it doesn't show the monthly cost, because they bill monthly, you know? Right, so 167 times 30, so it's like $5 American. If that's the most expensive bit of deploying these websites, okay, but why am I running 2 of them for 2 different websites? So I'd like to figure out how to consolidate and only have one registry. One registry for the 2 websites, and like I'm already limiting the number of entries that I have on them. Right? So I have, when you look at my actions here, this whole website for Copilot.John, I vibe coded and let Copilot build all the things. I didn't want to think about building it. So I wrote a GitHub action that cleans up old container images. I didn't write it. I had Copilot generate this for me. It logs in with Azure, gets my Azure container registry, and it goes and cleans up old images. It goes and finds, and if there's older images, I keep the most recent 5 container images. If there's older ones, go purge and delete them. And it runs a command, where is it? It runs a command ACR purge, I think is what it's called. Running purge command, yeah. There it is, ACR purge is the command that it runs, and it keeps the most recent 5. Nice. So, the code for Copilot.John is open source. You're welcome to look at this. You can find, there's my cleanup container images. You can see how frequently it runs. And here's where it puts together, it generates this script for what to run. The Azure Container Registry, name it, goes and calculates it. And then for each of the registries, there you go. Set up purge filters, and then there's the command it runs, right? With nice emotes there that kind of report it out and looks a-okay to me. So that's open source. You're welcome to take a look at it and see how we grew that. C# Titan asks, when I write a new article, do I manually upload it, or can I do it within the website via upload button? I purposely did not add an admin section to the website so that it would run faster without having to manage all of that stuff. So all of the content is sitting here as Markdown. Right? So, like, Excel for finance professionals. Like, this article is all sitting right here. You could click through and read it here. But you're going to get all the searching and relationships between different articles on the website. So, I could run, I could go through and generate that using code spaces and work just in the browser. When that's done, save, commit, and merge into the the repository here, and when it does, content sync runs. This runs when there's content. It also runs daily at midnight to make sure we've got the latest content. And this goes and uploads content to Azure Table Storage. And then it reaches out to the website and tells it, go refresh your output cache. Go refresh all your caches, generate some badges for the README, and then commit them. You shut up. So you can see that whole process here. Azure Dev is how it builds and deploys. So it doesn't build and deploy when there's updates to the content folder. But this builds, we should get rid of that. It only runs on .NET 9. Logs in with Azure, provisions, and then builds and deploys. Pretty good. Is it hosted as an Azure static website? It is not. Oh my goodness! Chuck!
Chuck Beasley just gifted 20 subs.
Oh my gosh, Chuck, thank you so much! Wow! That is awesome! Thank you so much, Chuck Beasley, with 20 gift subs into the channel. Phenomenal. Congratulations, J Subs, Tensei, 7 Ace and Aludi, Robert Tables, Weird Beard Dev, Ayub97, B Checkle, Frodo Z, The Only Sykin, is it Joe or Jose? Crouching Cashew, Amersella, Lorsayer, Cremino Loden, Jagterra, Arthur Penderek, Edmund, Abhijit, The Lost O2, and Gris? Thank you. Congratulations. You got gift subs. Thank you so much, Chuck. That is phenomenal. Thank you for that great support. No more commercials for you. That's right, Edmund. Yes. So, and those subscriptions, I put right back into the channel to support the development and the bills to manage and deploy apps like these. So thank you so much for that support. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Wow. Thank you. So that puts Chuck right at the top of the gift leaderboard there. Yeah, that is phenomenal. Get those commercials out of there. Absolutely. So, what happened here? Oh, no, that's good. That's good. Okay. I'm keeping an eye on my schedule here. I have to end an hour early. Somebody named Scott wants to have a meeting. And when you work at Microsoft, that could be anybody. Moving on.
Hey, Scott!
Yes. One of them. So, you're putting your Blazor Roadshow t-shirt on and going to work. Have a good one, Edmund. Thank you so much. I can work on Sharpside, or I'm a little behind on stuff that I want to get done for Charlie. I could work on Charlie, and we could tinker with the map over there. What do you think, chat? Do you mind if I work on Charlie instead of Sharpsite? It's your way of giving back. Thank you. Thank you so much, Chuck. You've been subscribing for a while and learned a lot. Currently using what I've learned here about Aspire to write a series of articles about Foundry Local. That's phenomenal. I haven't done any work with Foundry Local yet, but that's phenomenal. When you have your articles posted, let us know. Happy to share and cross-promote those for you, Chuck. That is great stuff. Our friend Maddie Montequilla on the .NET Aspire team, she made a t-shirt for the .NET Aspire team. They're already on Medium. Drop a link. Let's to the first one on your series, and happy to promote that. So Maddie made a t-shirt for the Aspire team to wear to build, and it happens to be the logo for Aspirify.net. The logo for Aspirify, if you click through to the About page, or if you share an article from Aspirify, you'll see the logo pop up. It's the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon album art, but instead of the prism in the middle, it's the Aspire triangle. And Aspirify puts some text around it. It's the bright side of the cloud, Aspirify.net. So, really cool stuff there. Oh, go ahead, take a look at the hat. There you go. So, this is a military hat. My son-in-law's unit and up in Alaska. This is the Arctic Airborne. It's not Arctic Mission, it's Arctic Airborne. Let me get a little closer there. So, first of the series, let's go to Chuck's article there. Check that out. Introducing Microsoft's Microsoft's Foundry Local. Yep. Innovative local AI runtime stack that brings the full power of Azure AI Foundry directly to the client devices. Yep. And, right, I think this helps to address one of the concerns that a lot of customers have about sending their data, their intellectual property, outside of their data center. So being able to bring that content local is a huge benefit for folks. So, comprehensive management service streamlines the journey from prototype to production by automating many of the traditionally labor-intensive tasks. Yep, AI model management is not for the faint of heart or for the poor of processing power. Ultra-low latency, complete offline capability. Yep, don't need an internet connection. Enhanced data privacy because it's entirely local. Optimized performance across hardware. Yup. Developer-friendly tools with CLIs, SDKs for Python and Node.js. OpenAI compatible APIs. So, lots of great stuff happening there. And you're going to see more with Foundry and .NET Aspire in the weeks and months ahead. Because the product teams want to see us use more of that together. So, that's great stuff, Chuck. So, absolutely drop you a follow. Fantastic. Make sure, do me a favor, friends, go out there and click that follow button for Chuck on the bottom of his article here. Let's get him a few more followers there, all right? So, that's phenomenal. So, all right, I'm going to leave that so I can catch up and read more on that later. Amber Dev, hello, welcome. It's good to have you joining us. I want to go over to Charlie and fix the map. The map was using a lot of Ollama AI to process and deliver content, and it, quite frankly, it doesn't work. You use the AI template to build with Aspire support. Yes. The AI templates are getting better, and the team hears and sees the feedback, and they've been updating quickly. So, where was it? Just lurking around, saw some Ansible tasks. Ansible? I'm not doing Ansible here. That's what I'm thinking about doing here, C# Titan. I'm going to have Copilot. Do I want to close all tabs? Sure, go ahead, close all tabs, and I'll just open a new one. Because that's what I do. I'm not an Ansible person. But I do... I do a bunch of CI/CD with GitHub. And, yeah. All right, so let me go back over here. I forget where I laid off on. Yeah. I tried a lot of things with this. Yeah. We're going to clean this up. GitHub Actions. Yes. Yep. All the YAML that you can eat. What? Copilot does a better job. Copilot does a better job of writing GitHub Actions than I would do, because I end up spinning my wheels, iterating, and not getting the right thing built. Let's start VS Code and dive into this. And I agree, let's gut the map. Charlie is a next-generation chatbot that I've been writing that's going to take over and run and help moderate and do some other channel administration capabilities for us when I'm streaming. I'm also adding a bunch of interactive widgets and things to it. And one of them is a map, because many folks, when they join chat, say, "Hey, how you doing? It's Jeff, and I'm watching from Philadelphia." "Oh, hey, I'm Skippy, and I'm watching from Albuquerque." Wouldn't it be cool if we put a map together that said, here's where everybody's watching from? And that's the idea that I started running with. And I didn't want to use a map API to go and drop those pins when I could bounce those comments where somebody says, "Hey, I'm watching from this location." Bounce it off the AI and let it go figure out what that is. Well, as I worked through that more and more, the AI became less and less reliable. And now I want to gut it. So this application has this concept of features that I've been building. So here's my map feature. And quite frankly, there's way too much code for this. That's a question for another time. But this thing here, Chat Wrapper, that allows it to interact and do things with the chat using an AI agent, isn't going to work for me. I think there's better ways for us to do this. Hey, how you doing there? Pixel Pete, your ghost face from Scream, and you're watching Inside My Home? The best feature CS, right? So I think I want to go through and gut some of this. Like, in here, in my Olama geocoder, here's how dumb I was getting. I wrote a prompt that said, get the geographic coordinates for a location named, and whatever location you mentioned in chat. And then I added a function to get geographic location that went and throttled requests, and then used a service called Nominatum that has an API that looks like this to, right, and there it is, Nominatum openstreetmap.org, to look that up. This is a free open source geocoder. Well, just hit that directly. Why did I bring AI into this whole smash? So that's what I want to do. Like, let's simplify and make this a lot easier to do. And I love the suggestion. Maybe Copilot can just fix that for you. Let's give that a try. Right? I'm going to open chat in the editor over here so that it's actually over here where you can see it. And I'm going to put chat. Oh, I didn't want to do that. No. Split left. Move over there. You, over here. Thank you. I don't need you. I don't need this yet. But inside here, I've got the Olama geocoder, and the other one was the chatter map feature. So I've got these two files. Go simplify this and just use the OpenStreetMap directly. So I'm just going to tell it, go use the open editors. I'm not happy not with you, with how the chatter map feature uses the Ollama geocoder and AI to look up locations. It's delegating to the OpenStreetMap API. And I think I could use that directly better. Eliminate the Ollama geocoder AI logic and rewrite that class so that it just uses OpenStreetMap. Let's see what it comes up with. Wait, hang on. Stop. Put that in agent mode. Yeah, that's fine. Put it in agent mode. Try that again. Yes. Go. When I have a new shiny hammer, a lot of things start looking like nails. You're right. And that was... I think I do need Ollama or Azure Foundry Local at some point here. Because there are things I want Charlie to be able to detect, respond to, handle, particularly moderation tasks. So I'm going to want that at some point. And the amount of content that I'm going to push into those AI models to have it work with, for my cost management, I want it running locally. Make sense? Here we go. Look at this. It wrote 67 lines and cut out 49. You're going to go learn about the various other models? That's fine. What do we clean out here? I like seeing a lot of red. The best code you can write is the code that you're removing. Renamed it to Nominatum Geocoder. Nice. Got rid of the chat wrapper. Cool. A concurrent dictionary for a location cache. That's fine. Don't need the prompt. Get rid of all this stuff. Check cache. Unless forced. Get geographic location from Nominatum, which is the name of the service down there. Need to add the remove location from cache method. Sure. Updating this, so this should be easy to do. Regardless, if it's AI, when we find a new pattern we like, new structure, same thing happens. There's a great example of this when you look at the billing section of Azure. They removed the billing register that shows here's all the services that I'm using, and they put a text box there. Ask the AI what you'd like to know about your billing. I want to know what you're billing me for. Show me the darn table. Like if you went to a restaurant and they came to you and said, here's your total, text box if you want to ask any questions about what we're billing you for. Like, no. Show me what you're charging me for. I don't need a text box. If I wanted to talk to somebody, I'll ask the wait staff that was helping me or my bartender directly. Like, hey, what are you charging me for? Well, you purchased a couple of cocktails, a couple of beers, and some nachos and whatever, and here you go. That's what we charge you for. I don't need to ask them about it. You automate this whole thing and put it on the stupid screen. Don't give me a text box. So, it could be cool if I could build a symbol graph of the entire project and feed it into AI instead of feeding it as plain text. That would give more precise context. I think there's a future coming where programming languages will not be human readable, but instead be AI readable. And the prompts, the directions we give the AI are generating that code, and we don't care what it looks like because it does a good enough job to manage and read and understand more of it because it is consolidated and smaller. You bet that rewrite was done by AI? You're not wrong. So, async call, fixing, recording plot location. Okay. Fix the null references. Sure, go ahead. Clean up null references. I like cleaning up null references. That reduces the chance of us having various null reference exception errors. If we're talking about an annoying UI UX, food delivery apps showing me what other people are buying. Right! Oh my gosh. Mr. Magoo, spot on. Hey, that's great that all my neighbors are buying toast with avocado. I don't care. I'm ordering buffalo wings. Because that's what I'm hungry for. I don't care that everybody's ordering pizza with extra mushrooms. No. Whose great idea was what? Help me out, Amber. Now rename Olama Coder to the Olama Coder file. Yes, do that. There it goes. Did the rename. Go ahead, you can close that. Let me verify compilation still works. Fantastic. Who is that weird human? Oh, with the other people's. Yes, right. I wonder if if the idea was the upsell that you get when you go to a fast food joint. Hey, that's great. You ordered a cheeseburger. Would you like fries with that? Right. Like, I get it. We all got a job to do, and that solves a couple problems. It helps to suggest something that folks may want, and instead of having to come back and forth and check and take longer time giving them their entire meal, hey, let's get it all lined up there. Hey, Jaxifer, how you doing there? What AI tool am I using? This is Copilot inside of Visual Studio Code. There we go. All right, says everything works. Let's give it a shot. I'm gonna go over here to my command line, clear that. Let me go into the app host. So this runs. I should remove. Let me remove Olama, so it doesn't start that up and deal with that. Close you down. Yeah, there's Olama. We're gonna shut you down for right now. Which also means down here in program, we're okay there. Yeah. Where's the Olama entry? Add health checks. It's this one. Yeah. Add Olama API client. You go away. Now let's restart it. And see what we go here. So, you think your purpose in life now is to click the continue button? Ugh. I don't like that feeling. You're not wrong, but... Okay, I thought you said this built. I thought you said this built, Copilot. Close that. Close that. Hey! I thought you said this built properly. Already contains a nominatum geocoder. Really? No, you stop. I'm going to figure this out myself. There's that one, and there's this one over here also. It didn't delete the file. So where's the other one? In the features. Nah, that's fine. Alright, so I deleted that. Go ahead, reload. That is awful. Okay. There's the .NET Aspire dashboard. Ah, pre-roll ads just kicked in. Turn on warnings as errors to see how it likes that, John. Totally agree. I need to start doing that. Going and starting my Redis, my health checks. What are you doing? Let's go. Yeah, it's all there. Looks like I need to cache that cache. I think you might be onto something. Yeah, it's working in the background, but let's stop that for now. These are trying to start. Try this again. .NET Clean. And now .NET Watch. Let's see if we can get it. Yeah, resolve to a different version. That's fine. Ugh. There we go. Now they're running. And the health checks UI. I feel like Docker is not behaving right there. No matter. Jump into here. Go to the map test. That's right. There we go. Hit them just fine. Why are they still out there? Okay. So let's give it a shot there, chat room. Right? I'm in Philly. There it goes. And it's picking up and displaying those. All right. McNets in Catalonia. Didn't pick up C# Titan in Melbourne. Glasgow. Okay. Like I even specifically called out Melbourne. Let me mute that. Heidelberg. And yeah, it missed. C# Titan, try that again. Midith, you need to. It specifically looks for a phrase, somebody saying hello from, or good morning from, or I'm in. It looks for those references. There you go. Mo Ali saying in Saudi Arabia, picked that up and placed a red hat. Red hats for the for folks on YouTube, purple hats for folks watching on Twitch, rainbow hats with propellers for the subscribers on Twitch. Still not picking up Melbourne. Providence, Rhode Island. Put a comma between them. Let's see if that works. Right? Providence, comma, Rhode Island. Like, see how Rotterdam, Netherlands. I also tried to put little indicators here so that we could click in and see who each person is, and need to tweak that, I think. But like when I force and I say, here's a test user in Melbourne, that works. So that's strange to me. Timbuktu for Chuck Beasley. There you go. Zodermere? Where is that? Okay. What was that one that just came in? Riga. There you go. It doesn't like you. I don't know what it is, C# Titan. But a lot better here. Providence, Rhode Island. Didn't land that one either. Wait a sec. No. And that's not showing up here either. Yeah, Providence, Rhode Island. There we go. Why are you zooming in there? There we go. Now, so I tried using an MCP server, and for some reason it wasn't working. But then I was looking at it like, why am I using an MCP server when I could just hit the geographic, the geolocator endpoint directly? Do I have a public repository for this project? Right now, it's private. When I get a little bit further along, it should be published. Melbourne, UK. Which one's that one? That showed up. Providence, Rhode Island showed up, but not until I hammered it a little bit here. Yeah, let's co-pilot that, John. Let's take a look at the log. So, .NET Aspire is able to help us with these logs. And I should be able to see. There we go. Here's where it's doing the search. Right, and it's hiding the rest of that, which is a little annoying. Like, can I find it saying, hey, I'm going to find Providence? Fetching Providence from Nominatum. Successfully geocoded it. That was 2 minutes ago. So for some reason, it didn't pick it up. Saying, I'm in Rhode Island. It's not picking you up at all, Midith. No. Um. Hmm. It's strange. Because there's clearly some folks that it's not responding to. Like, one of the things that the chat map does it keeps a dictionary of this user in this location. Yeah, C# Titan, it is. Let's back up here. Into location. Okay, so here's when somebody says, when a moderator attempts to do this. And that's for location remove. So those are the admin executions of the command. So since it doesn't start with the location command, it would fall through to here. But it, yeah, that's after it checks to see if you, if we already know what location you're on. You're in the ether somewhere. So if I try to do location remove, let's see if this works. No location found for C# Titan. Right, so if it contained C# Titan, it would have said remove location. Oh, wait a sec. Yeah. So it doesn't have one. So if I try location set C# Titan Melbourne, it should hit this block, make sure that either a moderator or a broadcaster is saying this. So username, and then the location name, and then parse and handle message. No, I said C# Fritz there. What? No. I don't think this one's working. Oh! Yeah, I don't think that's working. This block here. Back over this. Oh, there! C# Titan Melbourne. And it set me to Melbourne also. Interesting. It says it just removed it. Whatever. Okay, location set is working. I'm fine with that. And location remove. There you go. So, you have full control over how much and how accurate the location should be. I added and removed. Yeah, I tried to do that and it didn't do it. Like, it still has me in Philly. Right? There's C# Titan. There's me in Melbourne. I can delete that. But it doesn't have... There we go. It doesn't have me in Philadelphia. There we go. Nah, sorry, Moshiko. It's not going to pick up the moon. Ooh, you know what I do need to do? Let's do this. I was about to put on some gunners, and I'm like, I've got a couple nice pairs here I gotta try out. So let's do that. Clearly some work to do here. But not bad. Not bad at all. And we can't figure out why it didn't pick up C# Titan at all. Like, web. No. It doesn't log that here to the console. I've been using a little bit more VS Code recently, yes. I'm going to put on some gunner glasses here as I continue working, but I want to show you. They sent me the, it's going to be a little bit hard to read there. They sent me the, yeah, it's better. I mean, it's not great, but we're getting there. The folks at Gunner, I'm a Gunner ambassador, full transparency there. But they sent me these, the Fallout 76 glasses here. See if I can make that a little bit easier to read. There you go. Right? And it's in this cool aluminum case. Check these out. Gunner does a fantastic job with theming of the things. So the cleaning cloth that comes with it, check this out. Look at that. Vault Tech Industries. Huh? And the pouch that the glasses come in, right? It's got the, I forget what his name is. The Pip-Boy character. Yeah, it's easier to read your Pip-Boy. There you go. So these glasses right? They kind of look that same kind of like steampunk future Fallout look. Look at that. Huh? That's not bad. So Gunner does send me over these glasses gratis so that I can show them off, share them with you. There is a coupon code just below. If you use the coupon code, you're going to get 15% off. Full disclosure, they do pay me to promote a little bit. So, but these are pretty cool. There's another pair that they just released called Monterey. So these don't come in a cool custom box, but they come in this kind of, it looks textured. It's not textured. It's all the same, but it's got this cool pattern on it, a little gunner bag. These ones, I think, they look a little bit better on me than these. Oh, yeah, they are sharp. Oh, yeah. These ones, I like a little bit better with the wireframe. They just released these, the Monterey pair, last week. So I'm not sure you can get the 15% off on them yet because they're still brand new. But you can use, if you have an HSA, an FSA here in the States, your healthcare savings, you can spend on Gunner glasses there, and they are covered. Absolutely, they do help me see sharp. So these are really nice, very thin. I think it's a titanium metal that they use here. Really, really nice coloring, and I really like the thin frame around these. The last pair that they sent me, I can't show yet because they're not released yet. I can't show them till next week. So, but those are my favorites of the three. Is the ones that I can't show yet. You like the first ones better? We'll switch over and we'll wear them. So I'll put the Monterey over there, and we'll go back to, there we go. There we go. So these are the Fallout glasses. So pretty nice, thick frame, and you can see they have a little bit of depth to them. So really, really cool stuff. The Fallout glasses, they come in that cool box and all that. You can get those with my 15% off discount, guaranteed. The other ones, the Monterey and the new ones that I'm going to show you next week, I don't think you can yet because they're still brand new. So, all right. I was going to look for a log entry here that says, "Oh, I'm attempting to geocode for this user at this location," and I don't see it here. So let's do this. I'm going to put a log entry down here in parse and handle message. So I do have, right, I do have the logger up here. Yeah. And it's part of, so, right, I'm using, this is called a primary constructor in C#. This is one of the more recent features. So when you declare the class, you can give some required parameters on there, and then you're able to reference these internally in the class. They're not available as public properties. You'd have to route to them. So I'm going to use the logger inside my parse and handle message method down here to write out. Here's so right. Let's do. I'm going to get the location name. Logger. Yeah. Not just parsing message for location. I like that suggestion, but that's not it. Parsing location message from. There you go. I like that suggestion. So from this user on this service, and here's their message. I think that's pretty good to start there. So I'll save that. Now hot reload should kick in. And where'd it go? over here. So in the structured logs, you know what? I'm going to restart this anyway, so that we can try this again and start to see those messages pop up. So that's restarting. This is the .NET Aspire dashboard. I need to upgrade this to 9.3 so I can get Copilot in the dashboard. So it already reloaded. So the way that it parses and handles YouTube, the YouTube messages we received earlier, it reloaded. So if I do, I'm in Philly, there it mapped me real quick, and you see the entry on my dashboard here. Let's go back over to the log. Fetching, here we go. Parsing locations message from C# in Twitch. I'm in Philly. Cool. C# Titan, are you still there? Can you try sending that message again? Let's see if we get this popping out. There we go. Now we're starting to get some of them. So, right, parsing location message. There we go. There we go. Now we're talking. So, there's our friends on YouTube, Mo Ali and Nils, C# Fritz. There's Midith in Providence, Marcus, Robson Previato, the Bog Rat. So it tried to get Midith, which it still doesn't have. Okay. There's clearly something, and it got Amber Dev there in Riga. Yep. I need to work on the ordering of this so that I can see the latest locations mapped at the top, right? And be able to acknowledge folks a little bit or something. In Glasgow, there's Patty Boy. Yeah. Right? There you go. But clearly, right, it even got the Bog Rat in Elgin, Illinois. Got that one. So, what are we missing? You're in Lake Michigan? Nope, you already responded once. I do have that delete. So, that was the Bog Rat. Here, I'll go delete. Go ahead and try again. Put Riga at top. Midith trying to say I'm in Boston. No. Okay, hang on. Sorted dictionary with an object that includes the time. Yep. Midith, I'm wondering, so both you and C# Titan are seeing the same thing there. I'm wondering if there's a problem with how I'm parsing the message. Not Switzerland, says Thindall. Nope, it mapped you in Switzerland. Weird Beard Dev in Virginia Beach. I don't like how it navigates to the wrong place to start. There you go. I know you're... I'll clear out... Where'd Thin Dog go? Clear out your not Switzerland there. I tell you. Yes, Gulf of Mexico. Mm-hmm. So, it only maps once. So, it's trying to parse everybody's message for location. So, let's do a couple things here to pause that. if we've already located a if we've already located you, it shouldn't continue. But it still went after Thindal. So when this does parse and handle, record and plot location. Locations username to lower variant. So I'm oh, wait a sec. I don't need to do the extra to lower variant there. I need a way to take a look at what's inside that dictionary. So I do have a way to read it. Is that what my test page is doing? I don't remember. There's the feature. Yeah. That's doing a for each on that. Okay. So this page is doing a for each across this. So wait a sec. It did remap the bog rat. Greenland, USA. Where does it think that is? Okay. Some people, it's not remapping. Go back over here. Who was it who did Gulf of America? So why did it let you do that twice? 10 seconds apart. I didn't clear that out. Like, after it did it the first time, it should have blocked you from being able to do it a second time. That's only doing the location lookup. That's not the problem. It's... I bet you that user... The Bog Rat, can you post another message? Would you mind posting another message in there and see if it gets picked, what your name gets picked up? Okay. That's not the user that's in here. the user that's in here, yeah, see, it did do it. It is remapping. Totole, Manchester, yep, pick that up. There you go. Because I formatted the username so that it has the service dash your name. That's what's going on there. So let's fix that. That was a test. This. Share clip. No. Where's the message? This thing. Right. Get test message. There you go. But it's a record. Cache username. This should be service, right? Chat service. What's that's an enum. Yeah. To lower invariant. Yep. Thank you. So now back over here. So that's that message. So instead of doing all that, I can say cache username. There we go. And then down here, when it actually does cache it, doing all the lookup, blah, 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 user to cache. Here it is. There we go. I don't even need to reallocate that. Yep. And I don't need to do that. Where else is this called now? That's fine. So now, back over here. Now it should stop. It didn't remove your previous location. It still has you in Brazil. Just generic Brazil at some... So, oh, who's this over here? Code was showing that's who it is. Rockford, Illinois for the bog rat. Nope, didn't pick it up. Blocked you on that. Kept you in Chicago. Checking if location is already known for... There it is. Twitch the bog rat. Yep. All right. So we prevented the double booking. Ooh. Let me look at Amber Dev now. Good on that. And who was it that was doing the Providence Midith? There we go. Providence worked this time. I think there was a caching issue. Yeah. Okay. I've got some extra logging in there. Where did I oh, and there's the syntaxes for the location names. You changed oh. Interesting. Okay. Let me go back to I'm in Providence. That came up for the test user. I don't know why that's not working anymore, but I'm not worried about it. Purgatory? It still found Purgatory? And I guess that's near Melbourne? Got UNESCO in Night City, and I'm not sure which one it mapped. Yep, that was the first message you had keyed in. It should not do Gotham for you, code was shown, because you already have one, and it found it. Okay. I think I've got a good fix on that now. What was that other log? This one. Yep. I'm even going to merge that in. What did I call it? Hey, that's me. There it is. This is where you will be able to find it. It's still private. Yep. So, yeah. Did a whole bunch of stuff on that. I think that was a good update. I'm going to stop the whole thing and restart it. Yeah, I know you exited. Do it. What other branches do I have here? Okay. You're from Bikini Bottom. How do I set Aspire with multiple URLs? What do you mean? Yep, and then the Charlie Q&A here on screen. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah. Close that one, bring you back over here. Dashboard reloaded. Chat service connections all look good. Yeah. Starts to learn German. All right. At some point, I should probably persist some of that so that during the same session, it all pops up. So tired today. Oh, Amber. Wrote 0 lines of code. I know I've been talking a lot about Copilot recently. And I've gone through and I've used a lot of Copilot to generate code for us. Ask Copilot to help you get unstuck. Shoot. What's I'm forgetting my own commands here for Charlie. Start. Like, this feature, I was stumped on for a while. Like, how am I going to do that? I want to have it type and appear a certain way on screen. Like, I asked Copilot to give me some suggestions around that. The AI, as creative people, the AI can help get you unstuck. Like, you need to figure out weird firewall ruling thing, which I'm an absolute idiot at. Need to learn the whole entire natting and NFT table stuff. Okay, Amber. Go back to the full screen. Let me try. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's open another Copilot instance. And I will use... I use it. So, I need help figuring out a firewall issue. I need to learn about NAT and NFT tables to better understand. Now, right? So we set the scenario. Now ask it, help me with some definitions and suggestions of videos or sites where I can learn more. Even better, you can take a screenshot of whatever it is that you're working on, upload it here. Hey, I'm looking at this and I don't understand it. Explain to me what's on the screenshot, and it will figure it out for you. And here it's explaining to you, here's what it is, here's what those are, and for deeper learning, here's more information about that. And let me know if you need help. Copilot is a better search than your typical Google or Bing search. I know not a lot of people search Bing, but it's part of the job. I need to mention it. So, like, I don't care if you use Copilot, if you use OpenAI or whatever. Copilot is really easy to use. Everybody has access to it. If you log into it with your Microsoft account, it will persist your conversations at no cost to you, and you can go back and take a look and interact with it. So Sean's a great resource. He's an MVP in some of those areas you're talking about, Amber. So if you want to join our Discord server, there's a link to the Discord server just below on Twitch. You can click through to that and make connections, ask questions there on Discord, and some of the folks might be able to point you in the right direction to help clear up and get you past your situation there. But I know I'm talking a lot about Copilot, but it's really helped me with a couple of things that I've been working on. here on the channel, and then I've done some stupid things on channel. Like this. Now, I'm actually about to take off. I've done stuff like this. What would a river otter look like with Eugene Levy's eyebrow? But, you know, that's not enough. Eugene's eyebrows actually have a little bit of dusting of gray in them, so there we go. I wish he was happier. Give him a big toothy grin. Yeah, look, there's a happy otter. No, I was actually thinking more like human teeth. Give him get a human teeth grin. No problem, I'll do that for you. That's a happy otter with great eyebrows. Suggest 5 meme photos that he would look happily out of place in. It gets better. Here we go. The distracted boyfriend meme, the mocking SpongeBob theme, and so on and so forth. I said, let's do the change my mind meme. And I'm going to leave you with that. River otters should have human teeth. Change my mind. This was 15 minutes of giggling fun in Discord chat yesterday. Have a great time. Explore. Ask silly questions of Copilot. I'm learning a lot doing it. I know you can too. You can even make river otters with Eugene Levy's eyebrows and human teeth. All right. How do I manage so many files that I have open? I don't. At some point, I declared tab bankruptcy and closed them all and searched through them and whatnot. So, thank you so much for tuning in today. It's been fun, and we even got into funny idiocy with river otters and human teeth. So, my gosh, if our friend Jimmy Engstrom was here, he'd be blowing a gasket. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, I've got lots of great videos for you down below or on the side from previous streams, other things that we've recorded here on stream. Let me get you connected with someone else who's having some fun here. I'm going to join you over to our friend Layla Codes It, who's making tourists in the game that she's building here on Twitch. So I will raid you over to Layla. She started her own little independent game studio, and she and her partner are building games from scratch. It's really cool stuff, and I want to support her as a member of our live coding community. All right? Thank you so much for watching. Get ready to say hi to my friend Layla, and I will see you... What, today's Thursday. We'll see about streaming tomorrow. No guarantees, but worst case, I'll see you on Monday. All right? Have a fantastic rest of your day, wherever you might be. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.